spectacular new mould from IntoResin, and this is one of their crystal handmade range. So it is a crystal swan. This is going to be lovely for several reasons. First of all, thank you very much IntoResin for supplying this mould, which will also be part of a giveaway, as will the make that comes out of it. So that's exciting, isn't it? You'll be able to win this potentially. I'll tell you how to enter later. The other thing that's very exciting, aside from IntoResin sponsoring this video, is that Michelle from Glitz and Glitter, the other ambassador for IntoResin, and I are doing this as a collaboration. So straight after this video going out as a live premiere, those watching and in the chat will be able to jump straight into Michelle's, I believe, her first ever premiere, which will be straight after this one, so we can all pile over there. So that's going to be fun, isn't it? So thank you for collaborating, Michelle. The other thing as well, and this is why I'm giving away not only the mould but the make from it, is that it is part of my celebration for having got 20,000 subscribers. And where do I start? Thank you everybody who's subscribed. Everybody who just watches and doesn't subscribe, that's very valuable too. But if you could subscribe as well, I really would appreciate it. It's free, of course. Big thank you to my members. And of course, massive thank you to all of the suppliers who have provided me with all lovely goodies over the years to support my channel and to help me do this for you. As part of my 20,000 celebration, there will be more giveaways, so keep your eyes peeled over the next few weeks. They will all be open to any subscriber anywhere in the world to enter, and I will always put the full entry details down in the video description down below the video here. I'm mixing up my resin. It's normal Apex High Gloss. First of all, we're just going to do a clear one. We can then have a look at what comes out of the mould. And then secondly, we're going to try and do the make itself. And for that, I'm going to try to create that crystal AB effect that you get with things like Swarovski crystal things. So this is going to be an interesting one. Right, I'm going to just pour this into this mould. And when I've done so, I'll tell you how much it takes. I'm going to, look, I'm being good. I'm trying to measure it. I've got an actual measuring cup. Not like me at all, I know. So that's 600, what? No, that's 6 ounces. See, I'm useless at this. 6 ounces at the moment. I bet it'll use a lot more than that though. So I'm just going to pop that through my debubbling machine. Probably doesn't need it, but let's do it anyway, because it's new. I'll do a thing on this new debubbling machine soon. And so I'll put that through, and then we will pour that in, and I'll just see you for the demould, because there's nothing exciting to see here, is there? Right, just quickly dropping in to say that this didn't take as much resin as I thought. I have still got nearly 2 ounces left in my pot. So I'm going to tip a load of it into various other IntoResin moulds, seeing as we're having an IntoResin day. And yeah, so I'll see you for the demould of all this lot. This will allow me to have a look at this mould and just see, are there any problem areas where we need to be aware of bubbles getting trapped? Is there anything I need to plan ahead and do differently with going forward? So let's have a snowflake. I know it's a bit out of season, but let's have a snowflake as well, shall we? Why not? There we are. So we've got a butterfly and a snowflake. Just going to wipe my little pot out, see you for the demould. Gosh, it's so warm in here. It's only been a few hours and these appear to have cured already. Snowflake is slightly bendy. Not much though. Good grief. It's only been about 4 or 5 hours. It's just mad. There we are. We have a snowflake. Isn't that nice? That's just clear. We have the little butterfly out. Saving this. Oh, no, that's still a little bit soft. We'll leave that one. There's probably a nap to this, which I just haven't got. So I'm going to just grab it and pull. Oh, heck. How on earth do you get this out? I think Michelle's a few days ahead of me with filming. So I'm wondering if she can perhaps tell me how to get this little perisher out. It's very slightly soft, which I thought might make it easier. I think there's a certain amount of grab and pull here. There really is. This is looking beautiful. Oh, I'm worried about pulling his head off because, yes, it's definitely still soft. Oh, this might be a terrible disaster. Well, let's just see if that rectifies itself. But look, I've ruined his head. Look at that stunning mould. Look at that. And I've now got a plan. I will be pouring again shortly. I'm going to push him to one side, and I promise I won't do this again. This time I'll be leaving it to cure overnight. I did get a few little bubbles trapped here and there, but nothing major. So that's just something to be aware of, that bubbles can trap around those edges there. We now know what it looks like. Isn't it gorgeous? Back to pouring soon. I don't know what I'm doing now. Now we're going to try for a kind of crystal AB effect. As I mentioned, I don't know whether this will work or not, because it does involve trying to turn the mould inside out. It's a little butterfly, by the way. Now, any other mould, I'd say no problem, we'll just turn it inside out, but I've not tried it with one of these big, chunky, handmade moulds before, and I don't know whether, I'm just frightened I might rip it. Having said that, it's really sturdy silicone, so it shouldn't rip. Oh yeah, that's worked. Right, I'm going to put round this. I think this is Supernova, which is an ethereal pigment. When I say I think it's Supernova, that's because I think I've got some of my lids muddled up. It's one of the pigments from the Tiny Turner. Don't panic too much if you get a bit of fine dust from any powders flying around in the air. Just wear a dust mask. Now, these ones in particular are cosmetic grade, so they are basically safe. You just don't want to be breathing in dusty stuff, do you? I'm just going to paint it around that central area, hoping I haven't got it everywhere else as well, trying not to. You can see it floating around in the air, and partly because I've got fans all running in here. It's quite hot in the craft room, and I've always got extractor fans running as well. Summer has come surprisingly early and surprisingly warm in the UK. I just hope it stays like this all summer. You see the colours going on in that. Now the chances are I'm getting it where I didn't want it because it's floating around a bit. As I say, it's all these blooming fans I've got on the go. Just wear a dust mask. And to be honest, give it 5 minutes, they all settle anyway. So they float around, they are heavier than air, obviously. So have I got this all the way around is the question. And I think so. Just going to go quickly around again, just to make sure I've got decent coverage. And then we're going to get a cloth and try and take out any that's gone where I didn't want it to go. I think it's inevitable there's going to be a bit, to be honest. Have a wonder wipe and just go round here. What I don't want to do is take it off the centre, of course. So I'll go back and have a little brush around. I see the powders flying around in the air have gone already. And I haven't actually got an air filter running at the moment either. They just settle on their own. So I'm just going to go back round like this, where around the edge of where I've just been, so in case I've disturbed any of it while having my little clean up. Now, very often we'll put behind ethereal powders, interference powders, whatever you call them, chameleon powders as well. We very often put black, but of course this time I want like a mermaidy effect, more of a, I'm going for that crystal AB. And of course we've got the base to play with, what will actually be the bottom. So I will be doing a different one, probably dark matter, which is like a purpley colour flippy on the very bottom as well. I have to try and turn this back through without getting the powder where I didn't want it, or disturbing it. I might have disturbed it. Just giving it another little rub. I think it's almost inevitable that I am going to get powder where I didn't want it. But we'll do our best. Right, let's get some resin on the go. Let's talk about the giveaway. I will be giving away this mould and the thing that I make with it. So that will all potentially be yours. How you enter is you put down in the video description below the word Swan. Simple as that. Just put Swan, and then I'll use one of those random selector thingies to pick a winner out from that. I will put the full rules and a recap on how you enter down in the video description too, so that you can see it quite easily. As I said, I will be doing a whole load of draws over the coming weeks, so watch this space. What I'll be doing is when I draw any of them, I'll put out a video, I'll put it in my community tab as well, so you know who's won. And then, right, I'm just going to drop this. There's not many bubbles anyway, look, as you can see they're coming up on their own quite well. They do tend to with this resin, but I am going to put it in my debubbler just to make sure, because I am testing this debubbler. I will. So far, it seems to be the easiest one to use I've come across. So I'll be reporting on this soon. Right, I'll see you shortly and we'll fill it up. We now know this only takes 4 ounces of resin. Look, I'm getting good at this measuring, lark. Not. And now we pour. Last time I ended up with some bubbles around the wings, didn't I? I'm just going to pour slowly. Try and get that bit down into his head and his beak first. So we can do a bit of squeezing down there. You can actually get your hand up inside this mould and squeeze as well, which is rather handy. I can see what looks like a bubble there, but I don't think it is. I think it's just the shine of the inside of the mould. think we're clear. So there's just a couple of bubbles come up there. They should carry on rising to the surface, hopefully. I'm going to pour a lot more slowly this time for this last area. So hopefully it'll take the bubbles with it as it goes. You can see I've got out another one of the IntoResin moulds here as well. I'm going to do another little make while we're at it, I think. This can also go in with my giveaway, not the mould. I've only got one of these, unfortunately, but the piece that I make from it. So we are going to do that, and the butterfly. So you'll get quite a little goodie bag from me, like a double thing. But with the collaboration and the support being celebrated of IntoResin. Also, as I said, my 20,000 subscriber celebration too. Now this is where I'm going to try and be a bit more careful with the bubbles. I'm going to do a bit of this, a bit of tapping. I don't want to do too much squishing because I don't want to lift that off the surface. It's looking pretty good. If I squish it, it might squash the powders onto the outer silicone. Not seeing much in the way of bubbles there. So fingers crossed. Let's put that to one side now. I have left a little, I haven't filled it quite to the brim because we want to put that other colour in too. Now I should have enough to do the little butterfly. And then I'm just going to mix up some more clear and chuck into this one as well. Do a chameleon effect on the back of that one too. Right, I'll see you for an assortment of next steps, which will be putting the colours on the back in a final coat and then demould. So I'll see you later, folks. Oh goodness me, these have pretty much cured already. Now what we're going to do is put some dark matter on the back of these, if I can get the top off. Yep, there we are. Dark matter is another one of the tiny Turner pigments. I'll put your links for everything below as usual. I get these powders from Toonfish Crafts, of course. So all we're going to do is brush this on the back. So we should get the colour then shine through. Just hoping there's enough cling still to this resin. It's cured so quick. I was hoping to catch it while it was slightly sticky. I think it's enough. I think it'll be okay. Taking the powder up around the edges as well. You can of course spray alcohol onto the back of your resin to make it sticky again if you want to. But I don't like spraying alcohol on these handmade moulds. In fact, their care instructions do say not to use alcohol with them or excessive heat, so blowtorches and things like that are a bit of a no-no, to say the least. Right, now for our swan we're going to be doing the same there, and I'm hoping that we'll get two different layers, like that flash effect. I'm hoping we'll get something like that with the two different colours. Now of course all we need to do is top up these. There we are. So we're just going to top them up. Yeah, we're going clear rather than the black that we normally put on the back of these different effect powders, because we wanted more like a mermaid effect rather than a, gosh, look at that changing colour already, rather than the ultra intense version that you get with using black. Translucent shimmer, you get what I mean? Right, it's a waiting for it to cure job again. So I will see you all later. Okay, our butterfly is looking good. Look at the colour coming up through that. Isn't that lovely? So let's get the heart next. Obviously you can see it on the back. Let's hope we can see it on the front. Oh yeah, look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Lovely. Now the swan. I'm really frightened of this swan now. I'm going to leave it an hour longer, but I was going to have a sneak preview down the sides. It's looking promising. Right, let's give it another hour. Okay, let's get brave and try and get this out now. I don't know if I've got an AB look, but I've certainly got something interesting going on. Just talk amongst yourselves while I have a fight with this mould. It's worth it. It really is. But it's not easy to demould. I'm sure there's a knack to it. I'm going to watch Michelle's video, because we're both using the same mould, and see if she's found a knack to it. Oh, and then it suddenly goes, oh, look. Now I did end up with a bit of the powder where I didn't want it there. But look at that effect. Got a little bit there, but not too much. Oh, I say. And look, I don't know if I've got the flash, because I was hoping for a bit of the flash thing going on in the bottom, where there's the two colours collide. I have got the gold and orange, and then when you tip it around you get the blue. When you look at it from the front, but bearing in mind there's no colour actually in his head at all. you do get the flash look. I don't know if you can see that. Amazing. Right, I'm going to go and try to take some photos of this in the sun. Don't forget, Michelle's video is also coming up. I'll put you the link for it up here. And also the information for the giveaway is also down below in the video description, as we call it. That information you get when you hit more, that stuff down below the video, along with links and discount codes. We've got 20% off these moulds, Michelle and I have, for you to use. So a link for that is down in the video description too, in your discount code. Thanks ever so much for all your support, folks. And thank you, as always, to IntoResin for continuing to support the craft community. We really appreciate it, and your work is astounding. That is beautiful. And I managed to not get any bubbles at all, look. Right, I'll see you for the next one, folks. Michelle and I will be doing a giveaway monthly with the IntoResin moulds. So if you haven't already subscribed, please do, because that's how you qualify for the giveaways. And of course, it's free. Take care, everyone. See you for the next one.